Jan, thank you so much for joining me again as we
Absolutely.
dig deeper. If you haven't yet, head over to our founder to founder to learn about Jan. She moves forward and all the different ways to begin healing, to grieve. And we're going to dig deeper into giving yourself that permission to start healing.
Yes.
I'll let you take it away.
Yes, I love that. So, yes, a lot of times when people are going through grief, um, they get a lot of feedback from the outside folks, the in laws, the outlaws, the
Mm,
everyone.
feedback. That's such a polite way
Yes.
to put it.
Crap, we'll say that. They get it from everywhere. Oh, you're trying to date. Oh, is it too soon? Oh, are you really grieving like you should?
Mm,
And, and it is not, or aren't you over that yet?
mm,
That's no one's place to share or tell you. Everyone's journey is unique. And that's why I try to remain sensitive, even when I'm helping clients, to remember healing is your choice.
mhm,
You make the decision when you're ready to heal. You make that decision when you're ready to move forward. I had something recently happen to me. I flew out to Atlanta, Georgia, because I was not Atlanta, excuse me, Augusta, Georgia, because I was nominated for a Good Heart Award out of, oh,
Congratulations.
thank you, over 600 nominations, and I was in their top 5. I made the
Wow.
finalists, which was really exciting. Unfortunately, I didn't bring home the win, but let me tell you, my dress told me I won because I was fabulous.
I don't doubt it. I see you today.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And I had bought my ticket first class, and so I'm treating myself.
Mhm,
And I got on the airplane, and I always pick window seats.
mhm,
So I chose my window seat, and of course, my window seat was down, or excuse me, my window was down.
mhm.
And so I went to push up the cover, but the polite side of me, the nice side of me, so why don't you ask your neighbor if that would be okay with him? But before I did that, I felt a check.
Mm,
And it's like, Jan, stop waiting on other people's permission to live.
mhm,
You don't need his permission. You paid your ticket just like he did.
mhm,
You got the window seat for a reason.
mhm,
If you want to open this window and take in the ride, raise the window.
mhm,
And it really was an epiphany for me because it just kind of spoke to my entire life. Stop living as if you're waiting for someone else's permission to live.
mhm,
And a lot of times that's what we do in grief. People can't move forward because they're thinking about what the mother-in-law, what the ex-mother-in-law, what the ex is going to say, what even the children.
mhm,
And I may step on some toes here, but if your children are adults and they're grown and they're living their life, if there are no red flags, and if you're wanting to love again and move forward and heal,
mhm,
then I'm sorry, my children don't get to run my life.
mhm.
Now, I may listen to the advice you have, but if you're
Right.
grown, you've got your own family, but you're still trying to tell mom how to, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate your advice. But mom is wise. Mom knows the right things to do.
Mhm,
And so many times we're living for the permission of people. What can I go forward with my life? Are people going to think it's too much? Or if there's a death, the guilt says,
mhm,
my husband,
mhm.
my wife, they would they feel okay? And this is where I may step on toes even a little bit more harder. So I apologize in advance. I don't mean to offend anyone. But your loved one is in a better place.
Mhm,
They are not concerned
mhm,
about what you're doing on this side.
mhm,
And matter of fact, I believe that they would have loved you enough that they want you to go forward.
mhm,
And I know if it had been reversed, if Steve had left before I did, I would want him to remarry. I
mhm.
would want him to be happy.
Yeah.
And I believe all of our loved ones who have passed on want us to continue on because that actually speaks more to their legacy
Mhm,
than us holding it back, holding it in, not living, dying on the inside.
mhm,
That's not a legacy.
mhm,
But I leave legacy when I can say, you know what? I've integrated this loss. I appreciate what I had in that moment. Now I'm going to grow and learn from it, and I'm going to move forward and I don't need anyone's permission to do that.
Mm. Man, it can be so hard to stay grounded in those thoughts when you have all of these outside
Mhm.
voices, opinions, feedback for what you are doing. Do you have advice for people who are trying to set those boundaries as they are trying to give themselves that permission?
Yes, great question. Yes, it's going to sound rough, but sometimes you have to tell people no.
Mhm.
S- You're the one who pays the phone bill.
Mhm.
So if you choose not to answer the phone, you do not have to.
Mhm.
So you can not answer the phone. And if you're maybe afraid of what they may say or may not feel like you have the strength to ignore the calls, it is perfectly fine to let them know, mother in law, while I appreciate you wanting the best for me and trying to help me through this journey, I have to decide what is best for me. And for me right now, I can't do A. I
Mhm.
cannot do B. I cannot live like this anymore. Now, if you're wanting to support me in that journey, you have every right, to be here and walk. I would welcome you on this journey. But if
Mhm.
you cannot agree with that, then I love you enough to let you go.
Mm.
And sometimes you have to close the door. And I know it's easier said than done, but
Right.
I've had to walk away from some people who wanted to keep me stagnant and had to tell them no, you know.
Mhm.
Um, no, that's not where I'm at anymore. As a matter of fact, even when I wrote the Facebook post today
Mhm.
dedicating to Steve, I
Mhm.
very plainly stated, please, no condolences, because I have healed forward into a place of peace and wholeness and restoration.
Mm.
And that's where I abide. I don't abide in grief anymore. And so sometimes you have to let people know your expectations.
Mhm.
You have to voice those. You have to use your language. We're all adults, and if I feel like I'm at a place where I'm ready to move forward, I would like for your support. But
Yeah.
if you feel like you can't support me in that moment, then I'm going to need to disengage this conversation with you at this time. And just being bold enough to stand in that
Mhm.
and don't change your mind
Right.
because they will try you. Oh,
Mhm.
they're coming back. Well, she was having a moment today, but I'm gonna circle back in a week, and my answer will still be the same when you
Mhm.
circle back. And sometimes you may have to distance yourself from people a while until you get the courage and the strength to do that, or you may even need to seek help and seek out a professional and say, "Hey, can you give me language
Mhm.
to explain
Mhm.
um, that these are my boundaries?"